If Idaxadang is your new favorite place to be on the internet, thank you. Humbly, I thank you. I'm not only on YouTube, though, I'm also on Spotify, Apple, audio only podcast catchers. I'm also on Patreon. I also have a jewelry shop. It's lilliancollection.com for any that want to support Idaxadang in a special way by supporting yourself and snagging one of those beautiful bracelets that I have featured on the website. Today's first impression is coming out of Sea Town, and it is the newest drama that stars Jing Bo Ran. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you from the bottom of my heart. It thrills me every time I see that I've gained a new Idoxaranger. You are welcome here. And if we don't agree on everything, it's okay. It is healthy that we disagree. And please do not make me walk over your house to steal your subscription back if you try to act like you don't like what I'm saying, okay? Because I will come over your house, all right? Jing Bo Ran. Guys, he's my favorite. I say favorite a lot, don't I, y'all? Y'all gotta forgive me. It's too many favorites. I like too many people all at the same time. So when I say somebody's my favorite, I'm still telling the truth. Jing Bo Ran is my favorite. Why is he my favorite? Because he stars in the drama that I watch several times per year. He is sporting my favorite hair in that drama. Damn near a buzz cut. Pretty close, pretty adjacent. And for me, baby. Now, y'all know how you watching the drama and you think, you know what? This actor doesn't even seem like they got to do a whole lot of acting to do this shit, right? Every actor, every idol to me has a signature role, just a role that's just so up they alley that it don't feel like there's any method to their acting. They just went in there and did what they did and let people call them a different name while they were doing it. Well, for me, for Jing Bo Ran, that role is Road Home. Y'all, I need Road Home Part 2. Is this how we petition for that? Okay. How do we get the part 2s, the season 2s, the movies? How do you do that? Because that is what I need from Jing Bo Ran in 710. They are perfection. They are such perfection in this role on Road Home that I really cannot absorb them with other people on other dramas. I cope, y'all, but it's just pure copium at this point. Because for me, 710 and Jing Bo Ran, they're together, but it's not one of those things where I'm like, oh, I ship them. It's just no. In the confines of the Road Home verse, they did too good, and I just don't want them with other people. It's just no. It feels like that was a signature role for them. And if somebody excruciatingly went through every day on set for that, man, you guys are really, that's why you an actor and I'm not. Okay. So ever since Road Home, which was not the first time I confronted Jing Bo Ran, but it is my favorite. I just, Jing Bo Ran is one of those people that anything he's in, I'm going to watch it. Period. Whether I can finish it or not, or whether I like the people that's around him or not, I'm going to finish it because his face. Yeah. If you're new to Idaxarang, welcome, noob. Or as I like to call you, an Idaxaranger. We're all lovers around here. And I'm biased with a T, not a D, not a ED. T. I'm biased. What does that mean? That means that my opinion trumps all. It doesn't mean that it's better than yours. It just means that it's my opinion. Okay? And I get real shallow real fast. I think that dramas benefit from toxicity. Now, not in real life. You heard me say it here. Not in actuality. Keep all that bullshit over there. But in the drama, we need some toxicity. However, there are some dramas that are able to pull that shit off with minimal toxicity. They really are. And why? Are they able to pull it off? I don't know, y'all. I haven't figured that out. Now, I have figured out why the toxic male lead still works for me. Why Arak Why does the toxic male lead like Junpyo from Boys Over Flowers, how does he work for you? Because he runs hot in every way, just all the ways. Like, oh, what you saying? Even though it's hot, yeah, he's hot, but his temperament, his love and his hatred runs the same color. It's the same color, and he's hot, not like hot, HOTT, but he runs hot. He's not hot and he's not cold. Now, it takes something magical to write successfully a green flag. And do y'all know which locale? Surprisingly enough, I think, and this is just a preliminary thought because Adak Sadong is a theorist, baby. You go to my podcast so you can hear some of my other theories because they're right. Okay. But I think C-Drama Land may be the front runner when it comes to writing the best green flaggers. Yeah, maybe it's because it's so few and far between that you actually confront a green flag in a C-drama. But yeah, Road Home, girls, guys, this is a drama, and I know I'm here not for Road Home. But when you talk about Jing Bo Ran and you don't talk about Road Home, it's like talking about the Bible and not talking about Jesus. Like, how do you skip him? I don't. So, Jing Bo Ran, yeah, his green flaggery is just like, it's like, he's like the reddest green flag ever. He's not no punk. He's not just this dish rag of a guy that you just kind of, no, 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 no. He's such a green flag on Road Home that you just want to like let him red flag you a little bit. I'm just saying. I love that. And if you love Road Home, I don't know, maybe I'll drop y'all some goodies. I'm trying to think of what kind of content will I serve y'all up in my members only. The join button. Y'all ain't got one yet. Can you please subscribe to iDocs so I can get one? Because over there in my members only, baby, we gonna talk about the good shit. We're not gonna be over here trying to I'm not going to keep on playing because Perfect Crown, a drama like that gets the viewers. It gets the listeners. It is able to achieve a certain level of visibility from a content creation, analytic, business perspective. It is smart to do dramas like that. What's not smart is to do dramas like Road Home, a drama that came out 3 years ago. Not because it's not the best drama ever, but because when it comes to marketing and such, it's very difficult to market a drama that isn't just a current day OTA drama. That's just the name of the game. And I ain't really that mad at it. But when it comes to members only, and whenever I get that little button that I beg y'all to press, baby, I'm going to give y'all the good shit. Yeah, the Ariana Grande good shit. Because y'all, for my OGs that used to listen to Adak Sadang back when I had, yeah, Adak Sadang's been around for a while on these podcast streets. And on YouTube, music is like swimming in an ocean full of piranhas. You don't know what is in and what is out. Even when you go and you get copyright free music, I'm talking about artists that get on a channel and say, you can use my music for free. You can get you don't even have to give any attribution. Soon as you run your little dumb ass out there and do that, what you got? Yeah. So it's like, my God. But for those who remember back in the day, when I would be able to put all the, set the mood properly on these motherfuckers. I mean, even if I did run up on some heat, y'all, when the last time y'all ran up on some drama heat? I'm asking you girls and you guys, when the last time y'all ran up on like some King Porsche heat or some revenge love heat? I'm trying to go with some that, people might actually remember. Cause baby, I could reach down in the I could go back in the closet and find some heat that might not be all that widely known or maybe accepted cause it's older, but I'm just saying, I'm tossing around ideas of how I can open my memberships up now. If you have ideas of things you would love to jump down and talk about in our membership, please feel free to reach out to iDocSadong. You can have a one-on-one with me. Just consult the show notes or the descriptor of this episode so you can figure out how you can do that, or maybe I'll pin a comment. Either way, yeah. It's 2026. Why are we regressing when it comes to dramas? Like, why? Okay, hear me out here. It's not that we're not offering the shiny glitz, gleaming glamour, whatever, but we're doing all that. It's like a corpse. There's nothing inside. Okay, baby, your soul done left. That's why a corpse is a corpse, and why when people die, it's the body instead of like that human being, because what made that person is gone. Okay, what makes dramas is gone for me. And when I think about a members only section, I want to go in there and have fun with the dramas and shit that are good. Y'all, if we have to just do it over Zoom, where we just convene, a time a week, a day a week, then that's what we have to do. Because my thing is this: when it's no longer giving you what you need, you go and you make it yourself. Okay? Or you go find it yourself or something. So, Jing Bo Ran's new drama is called Sunsets, Secrets, Regrets. And it's got an 8.0 rating, which is pretty much the average for Jing Bo Ran's dramas. His dramas are, pretty steady because he is a very good actor. You could tell that either Jing Bo Ran be listening to iDocSadong, or he listened to his acting coach, one of the two. But he is extremely talented. It only takes you 2.5 seconds to figure that out. So let me give you the premise of this drama. I do have a tentative con, but I'll save that to the end, or maybe I won't. I may surprise you, but you have to listen to find out. Sunset, Secrets, and what was the last one, baby? Regrets. Okay. So Jing Bo Ran, I'm gonna give some respect to the female lead's name because we have to see her, and I ain't got no problem with her in real life. I'm just, when I say I told you at the top of this, I am biased. I watched my dramas for the male lead. Okay, so the female lead, her only metric to pass is, are you watchable? Elvira Tsai, I'll get to her watchability in a minute. But Jing Bo Ran, he is a man who is part of the police, baby. He worked for the police. No, he don't work for the police, but he works in the criminal psychology sector or whatever in his perfection. Yes, in his perfection, because he's gorgeous. I mean, did I mention his face and his Adam's apple? So I got a ratio. I've got a nose to lips to chin to Adam's apple ratio. Very few actors meet that metric, and he does. iDocSadong, who else meets that profile? Who else meets that for you? That ratio, Zhang Ling He has it. You could really see it good in Made at Home. Like, okay. So, if I think of somebody, Emi no. Yeah, they got that. They have the ratio. So, Jing Bo Ran, he is a criminal psychologist. He works in the criminal forensic psychology section of professionalism. And there is this guy who has been murdered, and Jing Bo Ran goes and he begs his section chief to allow him to. So this person is a big time killer, maybe even a serial killer, but he's one of those killers that instead of the police just, hunting you down with the SWAT team and tossing you in a jail forever and ever, they study your ass because you're a little bit too good at what you're doing. So he has decided that he's going to study this guy via, the television. He's going to go on to this show that's like reality based. And what he'll do is he'll sit opposite a host and he'll give out all the characteristics of, what motivates this killer, etc. And this is how we'll pull him out. they're trying to do a little reverse psychology, and they want to bring him out because a true psychopath, which is what this guy is, he's a psychopath, they enjoy this shit. They enjoy the hunt. It's a game. And even though they're void of all the other emotions, they kind of like the cat and mouse of the police trying to figure out why they're doing what they're doing. So Jing Bo Ran does this. Now, this drama is interesting to follow because you do get a little bit of ping pong back and forth. Okay, 2 years ago, what happened? And this is where we go into his counterpart, his co-star Elvira, which, by the way, I love it when A-drama actors have an Anglo-Saxon first name and they go by it professionally. Something about that does it for me, baby. Okay? Anyway, I like that. I just feel like, and it's usually the male lead that I'm preferring it with, but I don't know. I feel like they're like, I want you to remember my damn name. You ain't gonna remember my actual name, but you gonna remember Elvira, because I will always remember that. She was smart to do it. So she is a cop. And a year or so ago, so when everything kicks off, they're in this paddle boat, Jing Bo Ran and Elvira, and they're on a date. You find out they're kind of on a blind date at the end of the date almost, because remember, dramas, they can't just tell you, they can't just, these writers, directors, and producers, they can't just say, once upon a time, Harry met Sally. Harry was a banker. Sally was a, they can't do that. They feel like that's too basic. So they have to have your ass in the void for 35 minutes of a 45-minute drama. And I'm not saying they did this here, but y'all know how it is when you watching a drama and it's new and you're excited, but you're lost for the first 20 minutes. Or maybe I'm just not smart enough. It's okay. But I feel like I should not be finding out you on a blind date when the shit's finna be over and we finna go to a whole nother part of storytelling. Anyway, they're talking, and he's just Jing Bo Ran. Yo, huh. So, y'all know how I do it at Idoxanong. I give you the Idoxanong version of what happened. This is not necessarily what these people say. Y'all know how I do it. So he's like, look, I want to marry you. Let's get married. And she's doing all this explaining. She's like, baby, I can't do that. You seem like a swell guy, but no. And he's like, I feel you. Like, for real. Because your parents set you up on this. You are a woman who you cannot just do a logical love. This shit can't be philosophical for you. You have to be emotionally connected. You need attachment. However, your past has made you detach from love. So the next motherfucker to roll up on you, their job is to be able to open your ass up again because you have closed that shit down. It's Fort Knox around this hoe. And I know that, but that ain't got shit to do with my feelings for you. So she's looking at him and her mouth is ajar. This part is fucking hilarious. So she's like, okay, she's taken aback. And I guess at this point, she don't know he a motherfucking psychologist, so I don't either. I didn't find that out to the second episode. But he has to, well, really the first episode, but definitely after this date. So she's like, yeah, so, nice meeting you or whatever. And he like, yeah, cool, nice meeting you. So he stands up. Remember, paddle boat. He jumps in the motherfucking lake and swims to shore. I swear, that shit was funny. And I'm like, this dude right here, it is something wrong with him. So they're back at shore. And she's like, is something wrong with your ass? Like, why did you do that? And he was like, you know what? I forgot we was on the motherfucking boat until I jumped and got my little dumb ass in this lake. So they kind of giggling a little bit because, what he did was boneheaded. So, he wringing out his jacket and he trying to get himself together to soggily walk home. And she's like, What's that? So on the ground is a piece of paper folded all up. And even though she don't want this man, she is nosy, ain't she? How she know that's not his damn, prescription for some Cialis or some secretive, embarrassing shit? So she unfolds his paper, and he has written a list of 30 reasons why he loves her. Why she is lovable to him, or why something like that. So she's going off, one by one. He's like, he wrote, she is attractive, her body, the height difference. And when she says height difference, Jing Bo Ran stands up. And only in C-drama land, right? Because the average height is probably like 5'6" or something for these actors. But he hulks over her. He is heads and shoulders taller than her, because she's probably like 4'11", so in reality, he's not tall. But when she says height difference and he stands up, my heart's melting, because I love Jing Bo Ran. And I ain't tall, Jing. Bo, what do you go by? I am not tall. You would be hulking over me too, okay? I'm just giving you a little bit of a visual for Idoc Sarang, okay? Okay. So she keeps going down the list, and as the list progresses, the reasons get much more detailed and much more nuanced and are like bullseye on her personality. And baby, you can't tell me and you can't convince me that she ain't fell in love with this man, okay? So she is not going to marry him now, right? But when Jing Bo Ran looks at your ass the way he looked at her, this is after he swam in the lake. You be like, okay. Now, I'm not sure why he didn't try to Kidosaki here, because if he would have had a check, he would have won. You will win with me, Jing Bo Ran, with the check. I'm sorry. So we move on. Remember, she's a cop. And we got to do some time jumping, because we have to explain why she wears this awful wig. Yeah, I don't know if the long one is the wig or the short one is the wig. They both ugly for me. Elvira, you're swell in real life, I'm sure. And I ain't got nothing against you in real life. But baby, if you ever get on a C-drama again and they do your hair, either one, whether it's real or fake, I don't care. If they do your hair like that, tell them to call me. Just don't tell them. You call me. And tell them that even though I watch these dramas for the male lead, I still expect everybody to serve. Do you understand? And it's not too much to ask for your hair to be good. I don't know why they did that. So she had this short haircut. She's got this short haircut when she was a cop. And I guess it's congruent, because like if you're a cop, should your hair be swinging and all that anyway? They make a bust of this big time, it's a big fisher. And they go into the room. And because when they're on the blind date, he does ask her, have you ever been with anybody? And she asks him first. And Jing Bo Ran is like, I just got all this big dick energy for no reason. I ain't even used it yet. Like, oh my God. Like, he's never been with anybody. And only in A-drama land do like 32-year-olds be complete virgins and shit. I'm like, what the Okay, so he asks her, have you? And she's like, yeah, I was in a relationship with somebody for a couple years, and it didn't end so great. We go back to why. When they did the big fish arrest, the SWAT style arrest, girl, her man is in that room in bed with some bitch. I know. So, hey, we girls and bros, y'all be getting done dirty too. We get why you closed. We get why when Jing Bo Ran, your blind date, be like, let's get married, why you like, I'm good. Now, Idoc Sarang would have been okay. Why? Because I know life. And baby, we can figure all the rest of this shit out later. You speak clearly. You look good. You're a strong swimmer. minus the Kirosaki check, I think we can figure the rest of this shit out later. Just figure the rest of this shit out later because what's going on, what you've got going for you is too hard to find. We'll figure all the money and all that shit out later, okay? Because ain't nothing better than a fine broke man. Okay, anyway. So, she is taken aback. Right, her partners that storm into this room and arrest him with his terry cloth robe on while his chick is, they about to get that shit popping. He is belly down staring at her like, oh shit. Like, I got busted in the worst way possible. But I mean, she should have mended her heart right immediately. Like, she should have what she should have done was turned around, shed 2 tears, you get one out of each eye. I'm gonna wipe that shit dry forever because to be able to lock up the motherfucker that was cheating on you in real time, that's got to cure you, baby. It's got to cure you. And then when Jing Bo Ran come and knock the rest of that ice off, girl, bye. So he's locked up. He's shut away. It's hard to tell exactly how big a fish he is because we still have to get to that. I've only seen the first episode and a half. Okay. So remember, homegirl is a cop. So she goes out and does cop shit, including has to fight, go toe to toe with people. And she does this on one occasion. And unfortunately, on this occasion, she's injured and she has to go to the hospital. Now, remember, her and Jing Bo Ran don't exactly work out, but he show up to the hospital when you got your damn ribs cracked. She got a couple of ribs broken, which we all know takes 2 months minimum to even start healing. So it's a very painful injury. And he's there and he's at her bedside and he's just carrying on about her. He's wiping the hands and, probably one step from peeling the fruit and shit, Does anybody else, if they have to go to the hospital, please don't have to go to the hospital. Who wants to go to the hospital? But if I do, baby, can I rouse out of my anesthesia to somebody peeling a motherfucking apple for me? Something about that seems so comforting. Anyway, so he's probably one task away from peeling some motherfucking fruit. When she says, yes, okay, baby, I will marry you. And Jing Bo Ran is so sexy. He's not a goof troop, green flag. He's the guy that you get sent on a blind date with marriage purposes and shit. And he decides that you're it. And you fuck around and say yeah. Because he's just not thirstily, desperately, goofily, little punk. He's not that. So she's like, yes, I will marry you. And he looks at her and it's like he can barely stand to smile at her. Not that he's mad or he's not running cold. Jing Bo Ran does not run cold. I'm sorry. He's not running cold. But this is the depiction of somebody being so fucking happy that they don't want to reveal it because they're still trying to verify that your ass don't have no concussion. So he's like, seriously? And she's like, yeah. And he like, why? And she like, I just do. It just don't hurt me and all that shit. So she never answered the question. Elvira, you sidestepped that question. I mean, I think that they wanted the scene to take care of itself, how he was carrying on about her and shit. But I mean, Fort Knox normally does not fall even with somebody carrying on about you in the hospital. But she does agree to marry him. So they go down, and y'all know how it go. You put your little white shirt on, you go to the registrar's office down there in Seatown, and they take that picture, and now you are Mrs. Jing Bo Ran. Okay? So, she is the cop, remember? And she comes and she moves in with him. Imagine they live in let's say the penthouse. Yeah. She rolls into this apartment. She has her little carry-on luggage. It's some cute little house shoes at the beginning of the door and shit. And she finds her pair and she walks around, and it's the decorum is the decorum out of a video game. It's just perfect. It's everything that you like, HGTV type shit. So she's marveling at these things, and it's like, wow, these people have lives. So when she gets there, he's not there, but he does arrive. But only after she gets a call that, hey, such and so forth case you're working on, you gotta come. So she readies to leave. She's at the door putting her shoes back on, and he rolls through the door. And y'all, mm-mm-mm. So he comes through the door and he's looking at her and she's looking at him, and he's like, well, she's like, I told you I'm a cop, right? And I know that technically we supposed to be getting that shit pop, baby. Do you know that them motherfuckers can wait for an hour? Cause like, I'm just feeling like the case that y'all working on is a super duper uber schmooper mystery any motherfucking way. So y'all, baby, y'all could have gave me an hour. I'm gonna have to take an hour, baby, because you got to consummate the marriage between you and Jing Bo Ran. Because now that you done kind of surrendered to him, girl, you can't have a sexless marriage the day y'all get married. Like, you can't do that. So, but it's the look, y'all. Even if I was gonna be like G.I. Jane, you could tell she's got like toughness about her because she's a cop. And he comes through the door and she's like, now I'm a cop and I got a case to go do. And he's looking at her like he don't say anything. Because remember, he's a criminal forensic psychologist. So he knows how to play his cards psychologically. He know when to attach and when to detach. He know how to exist in the void probably better than her. Because you could tell Jing Bo Ran got some shit popping too. Like, he's not, whenever he plays a part, he is never that 1D presentation that you get from scene one. It's always some extra shit popping with Jing Bo Ran. But it's always in such a green flaggery way. Like, so he is looking at her. Y'all, I'm saying all this because I'm trying to describe how is he looking at her. Because he is looking at her like, please don't go. I'm disappointed. I thought that I was going to be able to be with my wife. Like, I want to be with you. I'm ready to be with you. Y'all. This is all going on with his face. That's why I love Jing Bo Ran, because he's able to like make you see what he's feeling. His eyes go soft on you. And he's looking at her and I'm like, girl, baby, you are made out of concrete to be able to run past him. Just to go run the streets of fucking Shanghai and still not know who did it. It'd be one thing if it was like, you know what? We see the perpetrator in the cafe right now. Hurry up so we can arrest him. But still, it's like, why y'all gotta wait for me to waste my gas money coming over here? Arrest his ass, give me an hour, and I'll be there to interrogate him when the fuck I get there. So she goes and she's trying to solve this crime. It's not a cold case, but it's somebody who was murdered, and she washed up ashore. And so now they've got to play catch up to figure out what happened. And they got to go from door to door, town to town. That's why I'm like, baby girl, you working on some strikes for Idoxanang because you were supposed to put your man. Girl, look, you were supposed to cure your man first. And I ain't one of the ones that's saying, oh, you got to put a man first. I'm just saying, you married him. The way his face looks, guys, in the scene when she tells him that she's got to go, his heart is broken. You can see it. And it would just trigger me to want to make him feel so much better. Anyway, she goes out here to run after these clues that's not cluing and all the rest of that. So she's at work still, because remember, she's like, I am positive I'm going to give her some mercy here that after she busted her man literally cheating on her, that something broke in her. Some vital part of her compassion just left the building, and it's probably not going to come back for the whole drama. So I'm going to try to reserve some mercy for that, because that has to affect you. And regardless of who you marry after that, it's going to stick with you. So she's at work, they're trying to solve this case, etc. And then it's like, wow, we got a special guest. And everybody's super excited, and in struts in his suit, the same one you left his sexy ass in at home, her husband. Now, remember, they were on a blind date, and I'm sure a little bit of time passes. She gets injured on the job, he shows up. So it's not like they kicking it every day, all day. And they've established months, even weeks worth of a relationship. They have not established enough of a relationship for her to even know what he does for a living, y'all. That's weird. It's like you told him you was a cop, but Jing Bo Ran, you ain't tell her what you did. And see, this is why. You bombastic side eyeing Jing Bo Ran, but it's one of those ones where you feel like it really kind of don't matter what you say, because we gonna still be. I'm still gonna be with you. I will stay. I'm gonna stay. Do you understand that, Jing Bo Ran? So when she shows up and he's the special guest, takes her aback. Why? Because she goes and she pulls him to the side, and in C Drama Land, when you get to pulling people to the side, you make your coworkers go bonkers, because they're looking like, oh shit, tenderoni, and she's like, what are you doing here? You can't be like looking for me that hard that you come pop up at my job. Like, duh, you're like breaching a boundary or something. And he's like, baby, I am at work too. And she like straight up, and Captain comes in and he's like, oh, it's so nice to meet you. And he's just fangirling over Jing Bo Ran, because Jing Bo Ran in his field is a big deal. And why he would leave such an important thing out is interesting. And like I said, as this story unfolds, it's obvious that we truly need to find out what's going on with Jing Bo Ran, and we're going to find out. And it seems like there's a little gangster shit going on with him. I'm just saying. So she's at work, and she's got a coworker that kind of does some things that's putting Jing Bo Ran in a little bit of jealous territory. So he has to kind of throw his weight around, and he puts his arms around her, and she's bristling, she's stiff as ice. She isn't confessing that he's her husband, and he's like, this is my wife. And the coworkers are like, what? Because she's G.I. Jane around the office. She doesn't have feelings, she don't want nobody, she just is workaholic. So they're like, what? And wow, so you go from nothing to this, like, what the hell? So everybody's excited. And as they go out on cases, you can tell that Jing Bo Ran is going to be central to them solving cases. And she's not really prepared for this, because she's used to, the world kind of being her oyster when it comes to work. She's running shit. So she goes on another mission where she's got this, she's in character. She's like undercover. She's got her fuck 'em girl dress on when she goes to the club one night, because they're trying to close in on the people or the person responsible for killing this woman. And, Jing Bo Ran shows up to the scene because she's got to do her little, she does toe-to-toe battle with people. And Jing Bo Ran is there to kind of, intervene and kick a little ass too. And, everybody's kind of shook when Jing Bo Ran kind of just manhandles this guy that is taunting his wife. And they're like, you okay? Did you know he wasn't trying to aggress her? He didn't hit her. He was like, I know, I just wanted to fuck him up. And everybody looking like, what? So, Jing Bo Ran, he ain't exactly an altar boy, and you can tell that. And I'm super into any drama with him, because there's always multiple layers. And another thing I've noticed about Jing Bo Ran, he loves the psychological aspect of dramas. He seems to really dig down deep into that. And I think that's super intriguing about the work that he chooses. He typically gives us some heat every year, but, he goes and selects dramas very carefully. So, for instance, he was in a number of dramas. So he was in 2 dramas in 2021. He didn't do any dramas in 2022. He didn't do any dramas in 2025. His last drama prior to this one was called Regeneration, which I completely, totally recommend. He did that in 2024. And prior to 2021, he hadn't been in a drama since 2015. He does have movies that he does, but even still, you can tell by the years that those films feature that Jing Bo Ran is not the guy that is in a race against time. He has decided that he is going to carve a very meaningful path for him, and the work that he chooses is going to be it's just going to be well thought out. And I'm noticing a pattern. Save for Road Home, which I think in and of itself definitely had a psychological bent to it, but much more muted. He enjoys psychology. And I don't think it's too far off the mark to say that if he were not doing what he does now, that he could very likely be the exact same forensic or criminal psychologist that he is in this drama.